I've been thinking about when and why businesses should invest in replacing or updating their website quite a lot lately. And, one of the main reasons people will choose to make that investment is because of how they perceive their website, how it looks and how it sounds. They will make an aesthetic decision about whether it looks outdated or old-fashioned, or it's out of touch, or in some cases whether the message is no longer reflective of the proposition of the organization because of whatever change, whether it's products offered, vertical specialized in, buyer challenges and requirements, whatever that is. So those are two very common drivers of the large investments, but they are large investments, and as a result businesses are often quite pained to make them in order to update the look. I think the better question to ask is the website you've got the product of a strategic exercise to produce a website optimized for pipeline generation or not? And if the answer to that question is no, then it's a very real driver alongside other things for a large scale, significant investment in improving it that begins with your brand, begins with strategy, begins with copy, and then website design and development. And by taking that approach, by conceiving your website around the goal of pipeline generation, you put yourself in a position where it's much more feasible to make incremental, ongoing improvements by allocating a regular part of your marketing budget to website optimization over time, that moves your website forward incrementally, keeps it up to date much more, keeps it up to date for a longer period of time, and may mean that you never have to make that large one-off investment in your website again if you continue to move it forward over time, if you continue to focus your attention on improving and optimizing it over time, because you're building on a foundation that's got pipeline generation at its core. If you update the look and the sound of your website, and by sound I mean the written word, what it says, obviously, you're going to make a large-scale investment that won't have pipeline generation at its core, meaning in a few years you're probably going to again think, well, this is out of date, this doesn't generate enough ROI for our business, and it's time for another large-scale overhaul. So I think you do yourself the biggest favor if you look at your website's performance as a pipeline generator, use that as a decision to invest in it, and produce one that is optimized for that outcome, so that next time around you've got different options, and you can ask yourself different questions about how to invest in it, when and why. There are other events that will most likely produce the desire or need to make large-scale changes to your website. So growth and maturity of a business usually means that the website you had is no longer the website that you need, and you will want to put some energy and effort into making improvements at that point in time. So that's one very real reason to consider updating your website. Your brand and your positioning are important too, and big shifts in those might necessitate some big updates to your website. Although I think we're getting into the territory here where if the foundations are solid in terms of pipeline generation, then the changes you need to make may be constrained to content, design and presentation and structure, as opposed to completely rip and replace the whole fundamental thing. In an ideal world, you would get yourself into a position where typically, for the majority of the time, you're able to look at, have I got the right pages optimized for the right terms? Do those pages contain the right content? Are they organized correctly? Is the user journey through the website logical and effective? And as my offering evolves, as my buyer evolves, as my solutions to their problems evolve, am I moving my website around and moving it forward to ensure that the answer to those questions continues to be yes, as opposed to it falling further and further and further out of date, both in terms of design, which can be incrementally updated once you're on a good solid footing strategically, and content.